Hello chess friends, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to work with tactic endgames. I will be solving puzzles about this and explaining everything I think and analyze as I try to find the solution. So that's the idea, let's start. Okay, in this position it is white to move. We have 2 pawns versus 2 pawns, so the material is balanced. Something I can see is that we have an outside passed pawn here. That's very good, because in some point black will have to take care of this pawn, and then the king will be too far from the other pawns. As when I get his passed pawn, my king will get pretty close to the other pawns. So the first move I'm analyzing in this endgame is king c5, just activating my king as much as possible. Then black could have like 2 options, maybe king c7 and then also king e6. So let's analyze. After king c7 I can play e5. I guess he has to come to d7 again, and then I'm analyzing this move king b6, which seems strong because then the king will have to go away, and then I can capture one of these pawns, but I think it is better to capture the one on a6 because I'm promoting really fast. So I take on a6. He can still play king d5 maybe, and then I can play king b6. Yeah, I think I'm promoting really fast here, so I'm winning in that line. So king e5, king c7, we set e5. After king d7, king b6. White should be winning here. What if he plays c5? Yeah, I'm still winning. I just take king e6, king b6, king takes pawn, king takes pawn, king d6. The idea is to try to get some of these squares very quickly, but then I can just play king b7 controlling, and then the pawn is promoting. So yeah, it's on time for white to promote. So king e5, king c7 doesn't seem to be very strong. Let's take a look at king e6. I think it's king c6 is a logical move. King e5, king b6, king takes pawn, king a6, king d5 is winning for white. King b7. So yeah, it's more or less clear, so I'm going to play it. King c5, and then we set e5 here, and here king b6. Then we just capture, and it's enough to win. Perfect. Okay, in this position it is white to move. We have the exchange down, but we have a pawn as compensation. Also something very good is that we have a passed pawn here in 6th rank, so it's something really dangerous for black. The first move I'm analyzing here is knight d4. The idea is that I'm checking and I'm controlling e6. This is the square the rook has to control my passed pawn once I play e7. So this move makes a lot of sense, knight d4. So after knight d4, rook takes, knight is not working. I just take, and after king c6, I play king e5, king c7, king f6, and then my king is going to be controlling and protecting the passed pawn. So knight d4, another possibility for black is this king c5. This is interesting, because then I can play e7, but he's getting the knight on d4 with check. So let's see what happens after that. I'm thinking the possibility to come to d6, and after a move like rook d1, trying to prepare a skewer here, if I promote, I can play king e2. So I'm getting the rook and I'm promoting. So yeah, I think it's more or less clear. So knight d4, We saw rook takes knight, we saw king c5 2. I don't think there is any other line here, so I'm going to play that. Then we said e7, and then rook check. We didn't analyze this variation, so let's take a look. Yeah, I can take the rook, but then there is this nice line. He can play this nice trick, king d6. The idea is that if I promote to queen, I'm controlling here, here, and here with my pieces. So this is going to be a stalemate. The good news is that I don't have to promote to queen, as you know. So I won't promote to queen. I will promote to rook. Maybe. Actually, that should be the only move to win. And then it's going to be winning for white. So I take, and then I promote to rook, as we said. Well, in this position, white to move. We have rook and 2 knights versus queen and 2 pawns. So the material is more or less balanced, we could say. Something very good is that it's white's turn to play. So we can prepare some threats, we have some checks, and there might be some nice ideas over there. Or maybe some forced sequence. So let's analyze. The first move I see here is this rook b1, check. Because black will have only one reply after this rook b1, it is going to be king f2. After that, I was analyzing some knight h3 check, trying to find some idea with king f3 rook here, skewer, but after knight h3 he can play king g3 or maybe king e2, so it's not so clear. I think it's not so clear how I can win there. Let me take a look to some other move, because actually there are more checks. For example, in the first move I can also play knight g2. That's another possibility. Of course, black will have more options after knight g2, because then there are all these moves. So yeah, well, also I'm analyzing here rook b1, king f2. Instead of knight h3, I could play another check, for example rook b2. That's also something interesting. Because then the king can't go to f3 because there is a fork and I'm getting the queen. That's something. But the king can still go to g3 or maybe e1. Actually f1 is another possibility, but I know it's not going to work because I can play knight e3, and when the king comes back I can play rook e2 with mate. The knight controls here and here, so it's going to be mate. But rook b1, king f2, rook b2, then we need to analyze king g3 and king e1. Those are the moves we are dealing with now. So after king g3 I can play rook g2. It seems good. If he takes the knight, I have a skewer here, getting the queen. So rook g2, he has to go to h4, because also king f3 is a bad move. I have the fork again. So he has to go to h4. And then I think this move knight f4 is too strong. I mean, I'm getting the queen and I'm mating here on g3. So this is going to be winning. Even if the queen takes the knight, I can play knight g6 and get the queen. So it's winning that variation. So actually after king g3, I win with this rook g2. So I'm going to analyze then the possibility or the variation where the king comes to e1. So we are here, rook b1, king f2, rook b2, king comes back to e1. Well, I'm not sure how strong this can be, but there is some idea where I play knight e3 threatening the other knight to g2 with mate, and it seems nice. I mean, he can check here, but then I play king u1 and there are no more checks. Or there are more, but I can block with knight g2, and that's what I want to do. So if he plays, for example, queen g7, knight from f to g2, and he has to sacrifice the queen. So white wins. So I'm going to check that line to make sure it's fine, but it seems very strong. So rook b1, king f2, rook b2, king e1. And then the move I like is this knight e3. Putting black king in a mating net. That seems strong. And threatening knight g2, also I'm threatening this rook g2. If the queen takes the knight, I have a fork here, so that's not possible. If the queen checks, I come to u1, and if there is another check, I have blocking and almost mate. He has to sacrifice the queen. So I'm going to play it because I think it's the winning sequence. So check, check, and then we set here rook g2 and knight e5. Okay. Okay, so let's go to one more. Okay, in this position, why it is white to move, we have like one piece up, maybe, but he has a pawn as compensation, and also a very big compensation is this pawn on the 7th rank. Is about to promote, so this is complicated here. Well, I can see that we can solve the problem with the pawn just promoting to a knight. This could be some kind of discovered check, and then after he moves the king to a7 or maybe a5 or b5 as well, we can just capture the pawn. Of course, black can also capture some piece. Let's say if black played king a7, black can capture then the knight on b8. I will be able to capture here on g7, just promoting, and black can still play knight e8, threatening the pawn. And if I promote to queen, well, I win if I promote to queen, yeah, because there is a pin here, and then black can't play the fork, so I win. So let's analyze the other line where instead of trying to get this knight, black tries to get this knight. So promotion to knight, king a5. Here I take the pawn on g2, and black plays king takes a4. Here I said that I like this move, f takes g7, trying to promote, and then we saw that black can play knight e8, attacking, and if I promote to queen, there is a fork. So I can promote and ask for a knight. That's a possibility. Then I will have a knight here, and a bishop here against a knight and a pawn. Yeah, it should be winning that line. I have two pieces up, so I think it's a winning position. The pawn should be hanging in some point. White should be able to get the pawn in some point, so we have three pieces against one piece, and that should be winning. It's not easy, but if we can trade the knight in some point, that I think is going to be possible, white wins that endgame. So that should be the right variation, I guess. Whoops. So I just promote to knight, and then I take this pawn, and then I take this pawn. And now I have to promote to knight again, assuming this endgame is what is going to be won for white. So this is the video I wanted to show you today. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you learned something new here, give me some like. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next. Hello chess friends, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to work with tactic with these positions. If you like, so this is the video I wanted to show you today. I hope you have enjoyed. So this is the video. So this is the video I wanted to show you today. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you think, if you learned something here, give me some likes. So